students of Reddit, what is your best school life hack? Find time to get some exercise in. All of that grab and go / fast food catches up to you fast. I got fat as fuck in college and have since lost all that weight. I wish I made time to at least squeeze in a 30 minutes workout every other day. To add to this, a workout doesn't need to be led by a pro trainer, an hour long, at the gym, once you get a membership or find a workout partner, etc. It can be enough just to walk around campus / the city town for 30 minutes. Bonus points if you bring a podcast or audiobook with you. For math / physics majors, learn how to use LaTeX early. It will save you a ton of time in the long run, and you'll need to know it for grad school anyway. I personally recommend LaTeX, https://www.lix.org/ for problem sets, since it helps to see what you're writing live. Also, learning how to use Mathematica really well saved me countless times when I wasn't smart enough to do the math by hand. If you have lazy teachers, Google a direct quote from a worksheet or assignment and you can sometimes find teaching resources and answers online. At my school the teachers have their own website and can make different folders for resources. The teachers have the option of putting a link on their site so students can access it. So teacher can see all links and students can only see ones the teachers put on the public site. I looked up one of the assignments for my app environmental class and found link to my teacher's answer folder for all homework. I really lucked out there because I had no clue what I was doing in that class. You can Google by file type using the syntax. Fill type, PDF name of the textbook I need will often give you downloadable versions and save you hundreds of dollars. Plus being able to Ctrl+F a textbook is a lifesaver. This of course can be applied to any other file extension. My classmate took up a strict 9-to-5 school schedule right from the first semester. Every day, he'd work 9 to 5. He was either in class, working on homework, or studying if he got everything done. At 5 p.m., he'd pack up his stuff and was done for the day. He had all his homework done way ahead of schedule and never had to pull all-nighters or waste weekends on homework. He was never stressed out or anything like that because he'd spent time studying when he wasn't slammed with homework. I could never manage it because I'd rather procrastinate and start 3 hours before it was due, but it seemed like the best way to do it. Edit. To answer the flood of questions. This was in computer programming. We did get projects estimated at like 60 hours a week later in the course, but by then he was so far ahead of everyone else that he could start working on them as soon as they were assigned and knew the content so well that he still didn't have to work outside his core hours while I was pulling multiple all-nighters in the lab trying to catch up. Yes, you might need more time based on your program. The point is to get into a routine and use your time effectively. He didn't have a job because school is affordable where I live, and we were in a co-op program where you work every other semester and can save up some money, but he did take contract work to do in the evenings / weekends for some cash and would have had every night and weekends to work if he wanted to do so. If you need to participate in group discussion but unsure about the material, ask intelligent questions instead of trying to answer what you don't get. It'll buy you time and you'll still be participating. See the professor / TA during their office hours if you need extra help understanding something. No one comes to office hours and they're usually really happy to help. To add on to this, pay attention to how often other people are participating. If it's a high participation class, you'll probably want to contribute 3 to 4 times, even if you don't know what's going on. Snatch up the easiest gym answers and ask a couple good questions and you're set. If participation is low, your teacher / TA will be thrilled anytime someone says anything at all. Just ask like one question during class and you'll be fine. I had plenty of college discussion based classes where certain students literally never talked. At most it would be once or twice in an entire semester, and only because they were directly addressed. For all my fellow commuters out there, meal prep. You will save so much money by making some rice and chicken at home instead of buying some food every day. I used to buy Subway twice a week as I was at school for a long time of those days. I just started to do meal prep, and I feel so much better about not spending that much money anymore. Browse the textbook before the lecture, or at least skim the introduction and the section headings. It's a lot easier to remember information if you walk into the classroom with a little bit of context. Get enough sleep. Seriously. I know it's hard. I know there's not enough hours in the day. But if you're gonna cut anything, it shouldn't be sleep. Don't spend your school time on Reddit, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. As someone who just graduated college, do yourself a favor and actually go to class. You're paying for the chair if you're in the US, and there is research on a correlation between greater ABSENCES equals greater likelihood to fail a course. I know you hate the class, but go. I might literally be begging. Do not leave things to be done just before the deadline. Do it ahead of time, if possible, so you avoid unnecessary stress. Helps me survive. Also, learn how to manage your time well. Treat it like a 9 to 5 job. You'll get so much work done and won't have any feeling of guilt during time off. It's fairly silly, but it was indispensable to me in college, especially for my English minor. Paste your syllabi in a very visible location in your home and write down all of your major due dates on a whiteboard. There's a lot of shit that goes in college, so it's really easy to forget sometimes what you have to read or what papers you have to do. Especially for non-math courses, your assignments will be due in spurts, and it's definitely not as easy to remember as a weekly problem set. So it's best to just have all your assignments easily visible. It pays dividends. You've got to play the meter game. If you're lazy and unorganized like me, you won't have time to properly study for everything and complete every assignment. That's when you look at the grade distribution and start with the items that are worth the most. This is so important. Keep track of your points. The only way you know if you can skip a homework assignment or bomb a quiz if you've been carefully watching your grades so far. This also goes for working adults, full-time, with classes, especially also full-time. If you have 4 classes on your plate and you work 8 hours a day, maybe you need to skip an assignment. The question is, what's worth the least vs the time sink? Maybe you've got a math quiz that'll take 10 minutes online. Do that. Maybe you've got an English assignment that is worth 5 points but takes 2 hours to do, or worse. An unknown period of time, but probably a while. Don't do that. I don't advocate skipping assignments. Why the fuck are you even in college? Boo, there is a thing called damage control. All my college student friends out there, make sure to give yourself enough time to sleep every day. Get a little exercise when you can. It helps relieve stress and works to counter all the cup-o noodles you're likely chowing down on. Personal hygiene is huge. Shower every day, brush your teeth, wash your hands. It'll make you happier, and believe me when I say that people can absolutely tell when you don't do these things, regardless of how well you try to mask it with deodorant/gum. It may be tempting to relax first and wait to do projects/papers later before they are due, but if you do the opposite you will find that there is way less stress involved. Meal prep is a great way to make sure you are eating well while saving as much time as possible during the week. Talk to your instructors. Get to know them. Their advice can be invaluable in knowing what they expect in the classwork and homework, and after you graduate you will want to ask them for letters of recommendation for jobs. If you don't have a relationship with them, they are less likely to give you one. Likewise, talk with your classmates. Lifelong friends are made in college, sometimes in the most unlikely circumstances/classes. I was a history major and met one of my best friends in a seminar class about genocide. We went out for ice cream and watched cartoons after each class to cheer ourselves up. And now 9 years later we still meet up once a week for ice cream. Remember that no matter how stressed you get, how hopeless things may seem, when the world seems to be putting you under as much pressure as possible, there are always people out there who care and who want to help you. Most colleges have student counselors who you can talk with for free and get things off your chest. The college where I work also has a zen den where you can go to relax, sit quietly in a beanbag chair or hammock, and just get away from things for a minute. Chances are yours may have similar resources for students. And finally, always remember, you are loved. You are enough. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are irreplaceable. If you're nervous about presenting something or speaking out loud because you're forced to, just know that the majority of students around you feel the same way as you, if not worse. That always helped me get over the fear of talking out loud. Wikipedia not working? Type 0 in front of the W and hit enter. Now you have Wiki 0. All Wikipedia format, just on a different site. Laminate your notes so the tears just roll off. Not ok. On a serious note, this is kind of shitty, but once I left my charger at the library and it wasn't at the lost and found, so I came back a few hours later when a different person was working and asked if they have found a white Apple phone charger, which I saw that they had earlier, and they just gave me this charger. Lost a charger and got a new one for free. Edit. Another tip, try not to buy books from the bookstore. You buy more expensive books, and then when you sell them back the store will only give you 30%. If it's actually value for it, then they will resell the same book for 100% of the price next semester. I've been able to find all of my textbooks as a PDF file online. College instructor here. Here are my best tips for getting good grades in my classes. 1. Read your syllabus. It'll tell you what the assignments are and how much they are worth for your total grade. So if you're in a situation where you're in a time crunch and have to choose between doing 2 assignments, you can do the one that's worth a larger percentage of your grade. Not that I advise skipping homework, but if you have to, you have to. Get a calendar and plan ahead. At the beginning of the term, you should write down when the tests are, but also the due dates of the large projects. Then, working backward, set milestones about how far you should be on the project, so you don't procrastinate and try to cram it all in at the end. Once you have a plan set up, follow it. 3. Do the work with the intent of the question in mind, not the literal wording. Instructors aren't always perfect in their wording, so if a question says something like, do an internet search for software to help you in / whatever discipline, and explain what you find, do what you know the professor is asking. Don't just write I did a Google search and a bunch of links came up. You won't get points for being clever. 4. Use correct grammar and spelling. You'll get a bad grade if I have to decode your answers. 5. Don't use services like Quillbot or Chegg. If your answer comes too close to the textbook company's answer on a short answer question, you're going to get flagged as a potential plagiarist, and I'm going to watch your answers like a hawk for the rest of the term. Just do the work as assigned. It's not that hard, unless you're going into medicine or physics or something like that, in which case it is that hard, but you need to actually learn it, so you should do the work anyway. 6. Do projects outside of school that are related to your field of study. This stuff stands out in a big way when it's time to get a job. When an interviewer asks what did you do outside of class, and you can say that you worked on a project related to your field, you'll see the interviewer's eyes light up. 7. Learn how to eat like an adult. A lot of people never learn how to do this. Good nutrition will not only keep your weight in check, but you'll have more energy during the day and for study sessions at night. And coffee equals energy. 8. Learn to drink like an adult. Binge drinking will make you feel awful and will take you days to recover. Have a good time, but know your limits and be safe. 9. Don't come to class high. I will know, and you'll be branded as that kid who comes to class high. 10. Use the opportunity to meet people that aren't like you. Sounds corny, but we all live in our own bubbles, and school is a great place to learn about cultures unlike your own. Good luck, students. Edit. Thanks for the gold. And yes, I know you all love coffee, think Chegg is a great resource, and think you don't look stoned when you come to class high. 1. I love coffee too, but it's no replacement for real nutrition. 2. Chegg is great for those students who use it to validate answers, but if you're using it to get through the assignments without learning anything, you're cheating yourself, and it'll show through on the exams. 3. You don't look nearly as not high as you think you do, nor do you function as well as you think you do. We know. For those of you who have honest to goodness questions, feel free to message me. I'm happy to help out.